Hello everyone, and welcome to another Arknights Endfield video. Today's video, there's going to be three main things that you probably have already seen based off of the title. Probably not the thumbnail per se, but the title for sure. We're going to be focusing on pretty much showcasing how my factories are right now, just to kind of get an idea. Kind of where we are also in terms of the story and progression of the game. Headhunting, because it's the next banner, and of course stuff revolving around that headhunting, and of course the second Umbral Monument, or however I'm going to end up going about it. I don't know if we're going to do it based off the mission event naming, or if I'm just going to say Umbral Monument 2. I don't know. Anyway, quite the lovely view. Now, you might be wondering, what have I been up to? I've been trying to break the game. Like, there's people that have been able to successfully probably break the game more than me, but I feel like I've done a decent job of breaking this game that the developers didn't really intend for you to do, or somewhat to an extent. I'm still debating on what is true and what is not, but based off where I'm at, I don't think the developers intended to be where I am right now, so, yeah. I don't think you've recognized this area at all. You probably recognize over there, but, let's be brutally honest, if you could do perfect jumps in this game, boosted shift jumps in this game, you're not gonna have a hard time getting to this place, honestly. The devs tried to put a wall, but they did not really do a good job, because it's like the only one section has a fucking wall, and then the rest doesn't for whatever reason. So I will say this: you're not meant to be in this location. This area over there in front of me is pretty much teased in a sense that it's like there, but you can't get there. Obviously, because of how this game works, and they kind of allow us to have too much freedom, being brutally honest here, some people are able to get here to the point of influencing other people, because at least 47 other people have been to this place, and probably more in the future. But it is quite the insane view, because let's just be really honest, you're probably not going to normally see this at all in this area, unless you try your hardest over there. But yeah, pretty amazing view. I wish I could get over here, but even with the glitches available right now, that doesn't seem plausible, per se. I know there's some new ones where you're able to glitch up onto the very top of the facility, with, camera mode. Thinking about that now, we could try that out, because I've been messing with camera mode to do other things. So if you go into, okay, the camera's all messed up, off of the facilities, they disappear. They did not think this through, because now I can go right here, and in theory, yeah, I'm inside the facility. And in some scenarios, you can glitch yourself up all the way. So I'm going to turn this off, move myself a little bit. Sorry, Sunshine. Close enough, but not there yet. Trying to get like a perfect spot. It's not like easy. Because the game kind of pressures you, but not at the same time. Oh, okay, that was an interesting glitch. It's not probably gonna allow me to. I know the protocol stash is, I believe, the one where it allows you to go on top. So in theory, you might actually be able to get to the top here. But that's something I'm going to explore on the side, not right now, because there's other things to do. But I think, given enough glitches, someone will find a way to get over here And things would just get even more insane, assuming that there is physics and no walls and all sorts of stuff. By the way, if I go any further than that pylon, there's like one piece of rock that you can jump on, but after that is a kill zone. So I don't know how people go beyond the kill zone. I have not looked into it too much, but I am knowing or seeing that the camera mode is pretty good at allowing you to go to places that you're not supposed to go. In this case, that's not how I got to this place, by the way. You don't need it, but it would probably help out some people if they're not good enough at jumping. Anyway, just to kind of show you guys, there's some people that have been here. Some people given like 47 repairs. Yeah, so some people are liking this place. Anyway, so as you can probably tell just by the sky here, you can kind of get an idea of where I'm at storyline-wise. But I have yet to get to Zhejiang. Not Zhejiang. Wuling. There we go. Zhejiang is the spaceship. I've already been there many times. Wuling. So I have not gone to Wuling yet. To kind of get an idea of where I'm at. I'm kind of in the between finishing off like the side quest of the main banner character that's available right now, Yvonne. So that's where I'm currently at right now. The last, I think, the next mission is here, if I remember correctly, because we're supposed to find someone specific in there. But right now I'm doing the other factory. And talking about the other factory, let's talk about factory, shall we? Of course, there'll be timestamps, so if you get bored, you can always skip ahead. But for those that are curious and want to see the shenanigans I've been up to, yeah, this would be a perfect time. So, this is a perfect opportunity to talk about protocol stashes because, to a degree, I believe people are not using protocol stashes to the full utmost potential. Let me grab real quickly. Okay, this is gonna be a weird video because technically, when it comes to when I'm actually recording, it's gonna be two different parts. But anyway, so this is gonna be the new one, and it mostly comes to the protocol stash. I'll kind of go into it. So the one thing for the next survey to put into it, I probably could do it right now. Whatever, is that protocol stashes when you're in the storage mode should automatically wouldn't use power. I'd have to look into if it still uses power regardless. We can test that right now. Let me quickly right here at the electric pylon, we'll go to deport access. Protocol stash, it goes up to 3.7k, switch to this. Still 3.7k, I stash it. It goes to 3.69k. So it does not, okay, so even if it doesn't automatically, it straight up still uses power when you're not in storage mode. But here's the weird kicker. You can actually use the protocol stash in a different use case than what most people do. A lot of people use the protocol stash as essentially another entrance of loading in items into your global storage of the area, for in this case Rally 4. I do know that there's separate storage facilities in logic in the game, so like they're technically different storages, and you have to go to a PAC to regional transfer items. Yes, I've seen that before, even if I haven't gotten to wuling yet. Anyway, so in this case, you can use that when you switch it off into Build Free. But you can use it as storage. So in this case, even if it doesn't have power, it could still go through the belts and into the PAC. At this point, I have maxed out steel components. This is for other items in the future. And the idea of how I'm going about this, aside from being what the fuck am I seeing, maximum space use for maximum storage of amount of items created for later use. In this case, at this point in time, while yes, I do have the max amount 72k at this moment in time for steel parts. Let me go over here. It's probably going to go up and down due to maybe using them. I've never used them yet, but I know they will be used in the future. But technically this is a lie because it's 72.9. Because each of these have 300 per protocol stash. So actually, I have 72,900 steel parts ready to be used. And this is the other use case of protocol stashes that I've been messing with. Not going as far as making a computer in it. I know some people have already gone to the point of making, not necessarily 8-bit per se, but they're able to do logical 0 and 1s already with the whole factory system. To the point where they're fixing issues and making multiple videos over making a computer in the factory system. I am not going that far. You could do that if you want, but for me, I'm gonna explore and experiment. And in this case, here is 3 full stashes of steel parts. This is something you'll see a lot from my other factories that you're probably like, huh? Yeah, they're pretty much extra storage for extra items. And so instead of, for example, I wouldn't really do this in this case, but if I knew I was going to have too many of the variant parts for whatever reason, then I could hook up multiple protocol stashes along with, make sure they're not connected to the electric power. I know you can go over here and switch on and off of the protocol stashes. It should be an automatic thing. Let's be really honest here. For me anyway. I don't know how you guys feel or think about this idea. But you can essentially switch off, not use power, and still use it as an extra storage of 300 of an item that you can use whenever, let's say you're trying to get a lot of, in this case, these batteries, the SC value batteries, and you get maxed out. Well, in this case, I probably could connect this, as you can see here, to multiple protocol stashes. This one, both of these are built free, but at least, at the very minimum, I will have 600 extra space of batteries. So when I start selling these batteries to these 2 different factions that I just got to yesterday, fun fact, yes, I just got to I unlocked the 2 extra side factories. So you'll see that it's not really that huge, or I didn't max out the other one, but they're not insane compared to the other 2 of what I've done. But in this case, I have extra storages. These are using the instant transfer, so I can sell a huge bunch, and all of a sudden I still have 600 extra in an 8-second snap. And you could go probably a lot bigger than this, to probably include over several more thousand. So you could technically, you have more than the max limit of whatever that area is you currently at by using protocol the stashes as extra storage, instead of just the fact of having it as an end gate to go into your storage. Use the stash part of the protocol stash. That's the main thing of why I wanted to show the factory and talk about this, as I think that's really cool that you can focus on it, and I don't know how many people actually thought of using the protocol stashes in that sort of way, but I have a lot more to share when it comes to the factory. So at this point, the main gist is making steel parts for later on. I intentionally made multiple protocol stashes without being connected to anything. They still work. So we're just gonna probably be skipping that a lot. So it's not really a glitch. It's just how the game works somewhat. It's just weird. So I'll keep the protocol stash should automatically not use power, or I should say switch off, if it's in storage mode. Yeah, so I'm gonna say that. Actually, that's a better way of saying it. Because that should automatically switch off in storage mode. And then say, and vice versa, when it's switched on. Okay, there we go. That's this is this is gonna be kind of weird jumping, but this is pretty much switched. There's gonna be a jump cut because I think that I'll take that out, realizing that, so I don't waste too many people's times. So yeah, when it's in, it should automatically switch off, but I think it should also be able to toggle the emojis. That's the other one I'm gonna keep that I looked at. I'm gonna actually bring back in. A toggle that switches off if a facility is logged, switched off, and unpowered. That removes the symbol the facility is, and vice versa if you want to see the symbol or specific symbols. Okay, I think that is a better way of going about it. Okay, stop that. I need a quick stash. Yeah. Okay, so that should pause it. Anyway, so you kind of get the general gist of the factory. There's going to be a lot of editing some things out and in, and so it's going to probably be a bit weird, but hopefully I do a good job with that. Anyway, so yeah, this is mainly just to make a crap ton of steel parts for later use, so I don't always have to go with this setup. I can reduce these amount of setups for this type of dense ferrium powder, and just for the need for steel and the steel parts. I could go with the steel also as an option, but I don't know if it's necessary. I don't know if the steel part or the steel itself is going to be important. So that's going to be a we will learn in the future type deal. Okay, we're going to continue on here and going to the other factories while the cat tries to climb up on me and get some snuggles and lovin's. Let's go over to the second one. So again, this one and the one we were just at I did pretty much yesterday, the day before Yvonne comes out, and Cat's now snuggling with me. I know you're making this harder than it needs to be, Sonny. Okay. So there's some similar ideas here when it comes to the what I've already showcased. So this, at this point in time, is mostly just making the items for both explosives and the battery to sell, essentially. And also making a crap ton of the amethyst parts as well, just in case if I need to make certain factories or facilities, then I have excess materials to do that. Same thing for over here for the Originum Crest. Both the Originum Crest and the explosives and the amethyst part and the other battery here are all with the whole setup with the protocol stashes. So that at least about 90, um, 900 of an extra items I have of them, so that I don't instantly run out when I use them in a huge batch for whatever in the future reason I do that for. Necessary? Probably not, but maybe it might be for something in the future. It is kind of up in the air, really, because we don't know what's going to come in the future, what will happen, what they will do, and yeah. So this Atkinson farm for the material itself, so I have max of that, and then all of it's going to be focused and funneled into making the powder, which will be put back into here to make the explosives. And the reason why I'm not going too ham with Amethyst is the only mining material at this point in Valley 4 where you don't get any more, it seems like. And, like, a lot of things still kind of use it around this point in the game. So it's like I get screwed over a little bit, and it gets to the point where I start losing the storage of Amethyst, which I guess would be a good thing. But also means I'm using so much that it's over exceeding. There's so much demand and not enough product for it. Not enough of the Amethyst to withhold the demand. So I have to be a bit careful, and that's why I've been trying to slow it down. I'm kind of like a bit touchy trying to use Amethyst. So, yeah. It's just me trying my best to not use too many Amethyst deports for whatever reason I need to use them for. Anyway. So this is this factory so far. I could use all of this, but it's the other two factories where I really go hard in using everything I have. Because before yesterday, I only had the main factory and the first sub-factory that you get in the Valley Pass. So we're going to go to the Valley Pass here. I could do the next level, but I just haven't done it yet. The cast in the way, so I'm trying my best to see what I'm pressing. Okay, this could be better used, but essentially all of the deports storages here I am using. I am using batteries over here. I could probably use them instead over here. But I am using all of this for both the what do they call it again? The packed Originum crust. And to make over somewhere in the other areas. In the main factory I've been making the Cryston fibers. And both of these are made to make the tier 3, the purple gear, which I did that, I did not have purple gear with the normal clears of the first set of the Umbral Monument. So now, when I get to Umbral Monument, I will have purple gear to use. Is it the best choice? Who knows? Probably not. But this is also a good showcase of the whole Amethyst issue, because these need, Amethyst to produce, to eventually get to. And I think it's way easier to get packed Originum crest versus the Cryston fibers. So that's something that I have to juggle a lot with here. But that's kind of the gist here. This has kind of been the thermal bank area. But with how things are going, like, technically, I could probably stop using these and start using the HC valleys. Because I've been also making some of the HB valleys, I believe here, actually kind of up here. This is the HC one. And this is also another D-port. I could probably use steel parts, right? Yeah, I could stash this. I could stash that. We already have a good steel in the other factory. I have yet to get back to this one, so that was a perfect timing. So yeah, this is the AC storage. Cat, stop. I know. You're going after the mouse in the computer. Okay, so yeah, this one. This one is mostly almost everything used. I could probably do a better job, but this would probably, if I really need to do more thermal banks, I probably could. But at this point, I don't believe there's anything else I need to do. Like, I think this is good enough power, given of everything to do right now as we speak for Valley 4. So I could I go with the higher battery values and go with less thermal banks to go for make more things or something? Yes, I actually could, but that is not necessary at this point. At least to me, I don't think it's as necessary. I probably will stop making the purple gear in the future when I get to the last tier, with the last tier of the components. Whatever that may end up being. So yeah, Originum Crest is a really good spot. I probably could do, as I said, with the vertical storage, but I didn't really start doing that at this point in time. I started doing that in the main base, and then I just kind of started doing that for the other side ones in the Science Park and the Power Plateau. Anyway, let's take a look at the PAC, the main factory, before we get into Yvonne here. Okay, so this is completely compact, pretty much using as much space as I can. There's some open space still that I could use, but if I do, it's probably just going to be completely filled with plants. Because that's like the only thing in the game currently where it would need to do this, per se. Because at this point in time, like, I don't see any other point unless I do some shenanigans with, like, using other thermal banks and then putting all the thermal banks over here from here for whatever reason you want to do that for, but that's something I could probably do if I really wanted to. So, yeah, this is kind of how things are set up. A lot of this is just to work on the other tiers. I could probably rework and change some things over here, but I'm not really doing that. And also, I probably could remove this. Like, there's some things I probably could adjust and edit, but for the most part, yeah. I think it's the general gist done. Again, I probably could... Oh, why are you not powered? Why are you guys not powered? That might explain some things, actually. That generally might explain some things. Okay, I didn't realize that I was clogged. That's why I didn't have a lot. Good to know! These weren't powered, so I wasn't really getting any more. That actually generally makes a lot more sense now. Anyway. So, yeah. Me kind of prepping ahead of time for the other materials, because I believe I'm going to probably need carbon powders, and I'm going to need stabilized carbon. If I look into the D-port 21,000, and I probably passed it. 21,000, so pretty much equaling the amount, so I'm kind of getting a stockpile as we speak. So yeah, I'll be ready when I ever need to do more of that, as well as the base version of the carbon, which is probably maxed out at this point. Okay, I probably could also remove this if I need to save more power. So again, protocol stashes, there's some pros and cons, but I think vertical stashes could be really easy to get more things going without always relying on the PAC to store things, but at the same time you could also just store it in the vertical stash itself. And so I probably could do that with the carbon over here and just save like 5 energy. I mean, it's 5 energy, but still, I mean, something I could do if I ever have energy problem. There was only one time I had energy problem, but after that I have not really had any other energy problems since, personally. So I don't see the need to worry. Anyway, so you kind of get the general gist. I probably could be looking at the snack, probably do more particle stashes. But yeah, I'm currently at the max tier for Valley 4, essentially. So I believe to actually truly max characters out, I am going to have to get to ruling, which I'm not there yet. So yeah, this is pretty much the max I could get for Valley 4, aside from E3 characters. I believe I could start E3 characters, I might be mistaken. I think I'm mistaken. I think I might have to continue on, so I say that, but no, not really. So yeah. That was a lot. There's gonna be a lot of editing there because of small mistakes and not realizing certain things unless I don't edit it, but I will be editing it anyway. Okay, so we do have Dossier available for me to use because I did enough summons in the last banner. And then, of course, this. If you can still confine me, take you out, I'll be fooled by this green. Okay, is this time limited? Probably. Which is not bad. I can farm essences now, so, like, to me, that's cool. That's cool, because I can actually use my stamina for other things than just mindlessly grinding stuff that I don't need to mindlessly grind for. So, anyway. Events. So, because of this, we have combat drills as well as the daily login. I'm going to wait to do that here. Let's try out Yvonne. Yvonne is a damage dealer who leverages her critical hits. Her ultimate makes her a powerful single target damage dealer. I will probably go for the one cat lady that I believe her name is Tang Tang. If you've been watching me since the first trailer reaction, you should already know to an extent of pretty much saving for her, but I decided to go for Gerberta just to try some things out with the gacha system. So yeah, I'm gonna probably maybe not. We'll see. I will be getting her, but am I gonna go hard for her isn't the other question. But if she ends up being just from briefly seeing her and not really seeing her in the story at all, because I don't look ahead, she's gonna be a gun class character. So this would be like a good test to kind of feel it out more than just Fluorite. Yvonne's damage dealer leverages her critical hits. Her skills can continuously apply solidification, and her ultimate makes her a powerful single target damage dealer. Yvonne's medical can consume all of the target's cryo affliction and nature affliction stacks and forcefully apply solidification. When Yvonne's meta skill applies solidification, she gains a bonus from her talent's barrage of technology that converts her next basic attack into a final strike. Okay. Yvonne's combat skill is triggered when the controlled operator performs a final strike on an enemy with solidification. Combo skill deploys. Okay, so so you have to. Okay, so final strike when the character's froze. Enemy froze. Okay, doesn't seem that great because because of that you have to time her correctly with other. Okay, like so if you put her in like a melee-esque team. If we could somehow get her to freeze a lot easier than Snowshine for whatever reason, I don't think she's going to be better than Snowshine in physical teams. But if she somehow was able to, then you'd have to time her, like, before physical. Anyway. There's just food for thought that I don't think is necessary to think of, because he's not going to be really that great in those teams anyway. Just briefly, what I'm seeing so far, because you'd have to have another character to do solidification, another element. So her combo skill deploys the robot Frosty Bite that continuously attacks and pulls in nearby enemies. I kind of hate that there's so many characters that are doing pull-in mechanics. So you have Gilberta's, and then you now have her with her combo skill. I just feel like that's like kind of makes the whole point of pull-ins. Like, I would like there to be a character that focuses on pull-ins instead of all of these other Sixers have pull-ins with their skill. I feel like if you need to do that for characters, you need to think differently in terms of kits and how enemies are. Because to me, I think that's like one negative that I'm seeing so far that I had issues with that I talked about in a previous video, where Lefong has that, Gilberta has that. Gilberta doesn't really come with that in original Arknights. Angelina, like, why does she have that? And it's like, technically, Pog has that as well. So a lot of characters just have it because why the fuck not? And it's just like, I don't like that being a natural thing that all 6 stars have. I would like something else that is more unique than just pulling enemies together. It's going to be redundant after a certain point, and I don't want the game to go down that route. Anyway. When harassed by Destiny itself, the explosion also roughly applies solidification on enemies. And there could be other ways they could handle it, but I'm not gonna rant on that specifically. Anyway, I don't like. There we go. Yvonne's ultimate. When the moment is right to deal major damage on the enemy, cast Yvonne's ultimate and unleash a continuous beam of bullets. Excuse me. With her enhanced basic attacks, every shot fired during the ultimate increases the damage she deals. If the enemy is solidified, the last attack of the ultimate deals an additional hit of cryo damage and consumes the enemy's solidifications. So you probably want to get them solidified and then use our ultimate and go ham, especially if you stun them. Okay. Use another operator to apply cryo or nature, then cast Yvonne's battle skill to quickly activate her talent's barrage of technology to effectively trigger her final strike. And combo skill, real combat performance by applying solidification with Yvonne's battle skill and combo skill. A lot to take consideration. I mean, I don't know what to really say because I'd have to get good and get used to using her, so I'm not going to be perfect in this instance. Mostly Frio, aside from electric with her, which is interesting. Okay.
Hear that sound?
Support ready. Boys, forward.
Does that work?
One more
Probably
shot.
not.
One more shot.
Standing right big spot.
Impressive. Let's get icy. Perfect shot. One more shot. Power shot.
I haven't really used the ledge all that much to really say it would be best in this
Simmer
game.
down. Yay. Yeah. Sonic freeze. Get ice.
Direct these spots. What fight?
So you can actually test this out against the boss. Well, not really a boss, but
Feel the chill. Here's our chill.
Direct these spots.
Let's get icy.
What fight?
Simmer down. Let us dance.
yeah, let's just look, man. There we go. But that's the general gist. I think I did a pretty good job, aside from probably not really using the Lesh the best that I can. I don't really hate Yvonne. I think Yvonne is like, it's like her main attack, like but her ultimate's pretty cool. Because I think that could be really cool as a single target DPS. But my biggest issue, I think, is probably the whole pull-in thing. I feel like that they're the, like I fully remember every one single kit from the live stream. I don't know what they're gonna do for future operators, but I hope they don't continuously do pull mechanics with skills in some way for every single 6-star, and how Arknights does this like generic certain stat boost for one of their skills for 6 stars. So I hope they don't go down that route. They might end up doing that, but I kinda hope they don't. That's just a small fear / possible issue in the future that I hope they don't continue. I think it works for her in the phone more so than Gilberta. I feel like Gilberta doesn't necessarily need it, but I can understand why she would get it. She'd be kind of nice to have it, but at the same time, it's like she's not AoE either, so it's not really going to benefit her unless you have another AoE character. But that's like assuming that there might be one in the future, and yeah, who knows what they're going to do in the future? So I can't say. I can't really say. So that's just because I haven't done any. I never had the chance to do any of the betas or alphas or the technical test or whatever you would like to call it. So I don't know how other characters that will come back, assuming that the leaks are also correct. There's many different types of leaks, so I'm gonna get through all of them with a grain of salt, and I haven't really gone too much into them. So there is this. I'm not gonna focus that on today. So the next thing that we're gonna do. This is probably just info, acquisition center. We're just gonna do the bundles. Cool, okay, cool, okay. Okay. I won't be doing the dailies much here. We'll focus on everything else on the side. We'll do the headhunting here, the dossier, cool. We will do the free headhunting 10 pull, and we'll do the free summon on the side, the single summon tickets. And then we're going to be doing the second part of the Umbral Monument. I'm not expecting much here, so... Also, I want to say real quickly, I just completely forgot to mention it because it was kind of an interesting thing. I wanted to know if this is the case or not.
Why do I have to do this again?
Can you shut up? Yes, I get it. Yes, I get it.
Greetings,
Essentially,
Administrator. I'm Estella. And please don't give me physically intensive assignments. Thank you.
okay. So what I was trying to get at is that the parry did carry over after I guaranteed getting Gilberta. So there's a couple of free summon single tickets after the fact, after Gilberta's banner was still going on, and after I did the headhunting session. So with those free tickets, I ended up, it did pass over because I was at 76 for the next 6-star.
Why do I have
Oh god, what the fuck? Wow, that was a lot of Estellas.
Endman, how oh, okay. Stick with the process. Here goes. Enfield operator Chen Yu reporting for duty.
Nice. I do need more pots of hers, so awesome. Okay, I'm gonna skip. That's a lot of Estellas. Anyway. If I remember to, I'll post it on the Discord, but that is from the dossier. Okay, the single tickets, I won't be going any further than the freebies, because I'm saving all for Tang or whatever I decide to go for next, as things could change. Anyway, I can see why people would like her, but to me, I'm saving. There's other characters I'm more interested in. I can see where she could be fun. Better than Cerner, in my opinion. I'm gonna piss people off by saying that. But anyway. So the 6-star guarantee did carry over, but not the guarantee for getting Yvonne. And then the whole guarantee of that character doesn't really carry over, but the 6-star to an extent does after you get the 6-star unlimited banner character. That last I was Gilberta, and I got Gilberta, so it started saving the pity of getting 6 stars for the next spin. So, awesome to know. I will still be getting some free summons here that will carry over to the next patch after 15 days. Interesting how it's 14 days. It was 16. They greatly reduced our banner. Interesting. Anyway, a lot of people actually have been going for Yvonne here. I'm not too worried, to be honest. I don't think she's going to be as long-term viable. Even though I feel like Hyperglyph could probably do a good job with power creep in this game, I just don't expect her to last relevance-wise for a very long time. I think Gilberta, out of all the 3 banners, was the best choice, meta and long-term wise. Probably gonna piss off people by saying that, but that I think should be the correct option to go for, just because it's more supports than anything else. You could argue Ardelia, but I feel like that's kind of the catch-22 from the developers, honestly. Yes, everyone got Ardelia, but if you skip Gilberta because you got Ardelia, then you lost whatever she offers with, and a lot of people were saying she's good. I used her too much because I rolled physical, but in the future, I'm gonna be thankful having Gilberta more so than Surtur and Yvonne, short term and long term, and I believe that will end up being the case. But aside from predictions and possibly getting completely incorrect or wrong, because you never really know at the end of the day. The next thing here, aside from pot, we'll get to pot 3. We're gonna do the second Umbral Monument. Going to improve David twice, increase to 1 point times. Oh, that's pretty nice. That's actually pretty nice. Even though it's not like a huge multiplier buff, that's still a buff. Not huge, but pretty good overall buff for most of her skills. She's actually pretty nice, I think, but a lot of people don't think that because they think other sets of teams for physical is better, especially taking into consideration Administrator. But if you ended up getting Lithung or Pognukshnik, from your first 6-star, then you probably would have gone the other one. You probably would have a good, solid physical team already. So it honestly, with physical teams, it's really a big debate table of who's really the best characters to go for a team, unlike the other teams in the game.
Yep.
Anyway, because of that, flexible. Aside from that, let's get into. So while there's Forsaken by the Land, there is Inorganic Construct. So Inorganic Construct, or number 2, I'm gonna say 2 Inorganic Construct, Umbral Monument 2. That's probably how I'm gonna go about it for naming for this. So last time, if you missed out, I did do all of Normal Mode. I have yet to touch it. I will probably touch the Agony Mode another time. But we'll do this. We'll finish this off. But as I said earlier, it's probably gonna be weird because I'm not gonna have enough time to finish this tonight. But I will be finishing this off into one video. So the Deafening Blast brought embers of war from a century ago to the last civilization band was not destroyed by the Agaloid bombardment. It wasn't just the Agaloid that brought humanity close to extinction, and that is the strategy. So this is kind of the thing that they be kind of hinting at through the story. Was that there was a huge scenario with Angaloid bringing humanity to extinction, but there is this twist where it's not just the Angaloid, and that is what's interesting. Because the whole entire story is Angaloid is mega bad, but the fact that that's not technically the worst thing though should make you be rolling your eyebrows a little bit. It makes you be like, huh? Anyway, so I've kind of looked at this a little bit when I, you know, on the off chance when, you know, people doing this already. But I have not looked into Agony Mode, and I feel like I'm going to probably have an easier time doing normal mode
Give me the
compared to
front
the
row
other
this time.
side.
I want to be the first out of the door.
Oh, and also, nothing's really changed for this team, aside from purple gear. So, yeah. And I don't know how Agony Mode's gonna go. If I'll touch Agony Mode, I probably will, but we'll see.
A blade unsheathed, its light unleashed.
Engage.
Technically, I probably could switch out the way I do combos. So next attack, I probably should go for strength more than anything else. So move around. Don't stick together. Yeah, take your time. And I can do one.
Switch handle crush.
And then the other one, yep.
As passed.
So I'm still trying to learn.
That was some perfect teamwork.
So yeah,
The
way
battle is
better than
ended.
the other versions. There's just like one boss and then it summons other things. And just taking your time. I feel like this is more like taking your time and not trying to bomb rush the enemy always. So having a ranged character would honestly be better in this case. So kind of works with them releasing Yvonne. 24 numbers seems to dissipate from these wire lines. Crisp sounds of chattering could be heard hidden within the wall around blades too close. Did you hear stone grinding against metal?
In position and standing by.
So in the beginning, I should be using Lafong and then Pug, but I'm so used to doing Pog first. That's like
A blade
doesn't click
unsheathed,
for me to
its
do
light
that.
unleashed.
Engage.
Like that actually hit me, bro.
Watch out, get back!
Textbook maneuver.
Leave it to me.
Never tempt me.
Let me help. You shall be banished.
Okay, so we can stall out the enemy really hard.
Watch this. Watch this. You shout anything, you shall be banished.
Deflect. Set the rescue.
Okay, I really should be
1 sec. Just need a quick breather.
taking more time for this,
Never seen this?
but that's like,
Watch this.
oh god, okay. Oh, the fact that they can move a little bit is actually like,
That move of yours was incredible. Don't get hit by this.
Nice strike.
Never tempt.
crush.
My ice and snow! Freeze!
Might see. Let that go.
Now for Barry. Techno bolt.
Cast off as cast!
Let me help. Ever seen this?
That's the wrong character game.
Tactical maneuver.
Don't
Okay.
feel bad. Endure the storm.
That was a little tricky because I didn't think they'd actually spawn in another one as quick. Because it's like having both of them up and that one almost being dead kind of causes a lot of issues, especially if you're just trying to get back into another rhythm of constantly stunning the enemy. But excuse me, it also seems like you can not worry about it as much of the other one charging at you. Because I think there's some logic of like, oh, is there another of the same enemy close by? It may not be useful to do that. Instead, focus on another enemy or ally, I should say, and do that. So overall, I think you could probably do that on Agony Mode. But then again, I don't know what Agony Mode does. So I could be spitting not really good facts and get absolutely murks doing it. Anyway, that one seems a lot more doable than the other three, just doing parts of it just being the enemy, but I've just seen briefly the mechanics. I think that's not going to be the case for Agony Mode. Anyway, the giant machine wreckage in the distance herald the great events of the past. Nearby, disassembled entities began to coalesce, creating newborn entities that belched with earth-rending howls. The land began to tremble as the Agaloys landed on the ground and raided in their previous, ponderous steps.
Admin, finally got an assignment for me?
Okay.
A blade unsheathed, its light unleashed!
Engage.
Gotta love how she's just straight up yelling into enemies. I have not really faced this enemy all that much. Did I take damage there or what happened? Oh, I need to jump. Okay, it's been a hot minute since I faced this. And even then...
One sec, just need a quick reading. Shout anytime. Shall be vanished.
Cast off as cast! What was working?
Techno bolt. Watch this. Let me help. You shall be vanished. Watch this. Watch this.
That was an oversight.
Is it better to just ignore?
Watch this. Shout anytime.
Relay strategy.
Never seen this? Guess which handle crushed.
I didn't mean to use the other skill. Also getting destroyed.
Might see. Let that go.
I lost all the damage there. Oh, lovely.
Storm of Frost!
Not too difficult in terms of damage. No, I say that, don't get that.
One sec, just need a quick breather.
Yeah, that's the thing about that.
That's what I call a real fight.
Okay. That could have been way better. But I'll take it, I guess. Okay. I will be sending the Agony Modes after this. Technically be a different day, but I'll be doing the Agony Modes here. So, snap of the fingers. And just like that, another day, continuing on with Endfield for the Agony Mode, higher difficulty. So, yeah. There's a decent amount that could have happened in between. But pretty much, I guess, the only thing that'd be really interesting to know is that I changed the thermal pace on the Xbox 360. Nothing too crazy related to Arknights Endfield specifically. But anyway. Let's get straight into it. I'm just gonna get to it, get through it, destroy it, and yeah. We'll try the Agony Modes. This is gonna probably be a lot shorter section because I don't believe I'm gonna beat any of these. But maybe I'll be incorrect. Maybe I'll be incorrect. I don't know. It's just speculation. Let's see what they introduced. So of course, enemies are stronger than they normally are. But continuing on from that, enemies recover from staggered more quickly, are harder to intercept, and have greatly increased attack range. Heavy Sting Alpha gains temporary immunity against all damage regularly. Defeat all Sting Alpha to remove this immunity debuff. Tactics and consumables cannot be used. Okay, so this is pretty much deal with the small foes before dealing with the boss. Cool. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna fail horrendously, or I'm not gonna have enough DPS. One or the other. I'm more or less going to be saying...
War is never about mercy.
Leave it to me.
We are doing actually
All
a
units
lot of
incoming.
damage.
Watch this. Nice strike. Give me a shout anytime. Ever seen this?
All units incoming.
Nice strike. Hey,
Oh, okay. Stagger. Definitely. Oh, I see.
Watch this.
All units incoming.
Fabulous work.
Just no more.
Watch out, get back!
Watch this.
Awesome teamwork.
Like, this doesn't seem too bad.
Nice strike. Pronounce for Ferris. Let me help. You shall be banished. Evil shall face karmic justice.
All units in.
Ice and snow! Freeze!
Watch this.
Yay! That's perfect teamwork. Watch out,
Wait, see? What the?
Pronounce for Ferris.
Never tempt.
Cast off as cast!
You shall be banished.
All units incoming.
Rescue!
Okay, the boss has definitely gone stronger. Holy shit. Okay, yeah. Holy shit. God damn. The difficulty increased fivefold. Oh god. But that would be super doable if it wasn't for the fact of that switch in the mechanics after a certain amount of HP. Then it just all of a sudden, everything's on the field, everything is attacking, so much attacks are going over the place that Pog instantly died, it seemed like, and then the thing. And then straight afterwards, trying to figure out the best way to get all this mess, Chen dies, and then as you saw there, that went from like a super doable to not doable in a few milliseconds, just from the switch of the mechanic from the boss. So this, the fact that also spawning in more enemies. Like, overall, it's not too bad. We were doing pretty good up to a certain point, but... Anyway. The shield Agony. Enemies move faster and recover from stacking more quickly. When enemies defeated, the remaining enemies become harder to interrupt and continuously gain attack and HP restoration. Tactical consumers cannot be, of course, reused.
Get ready.
So this is... kind of a thing they've done in more Arknights, where there'd be like two bosses, and you get punished for having one at full HP and the other not at full HP. So this is going to kind of work with the whole fact
never
of
about mercy.
What?
Yeah, freeze them.
Can you stop, sir?
Never
Mine strikes quick.
Gotta love how that can happen.
Shall face karmic justice!
Brilliant strategy.
You're a true pro. Cleave now, as cut!
Yeah, let me help.
Yeah.
Ever seen this? Hey, yeah!
Might see. Pataco.
Watch this!
Textbook maneuver.
That still hit me? Bruh. Bruh.
Once known, be dead. Wait, let's go. Awesome teamwork.
That shit. Okay, game.
Never let your blood to it. Oh, no, yeah. At my command. Your death awaits.
I want to switch characters.
All units incoming.
Once known, be dead.
Yeah.
That move of yours was incredible.
I dashed, but the game did not count. Okay. That one is really just a stat check at the very end. There's nothing you could really do when you dodge, and the game's like, dodge, you still get hit. Yeah, the dodge system I don't think is as friendly as people make it out to be. I think that was probably the most doable, but it comes down to not getting fucked over and trying your best to riddle them both down. I just don't think... I say it's doable, but I don't think it's going to be doable because I don't have enough DPS. I might be able to do it if I had, like, tier 5 equipment and maxed out to level 60. I might be able to do it, but... At still being E2, I might, but I'm nowhere near that yet, so... And then, Agony. I don't think I'm gonna do this, but let's go over it anyway. Enemies are stronger and immune to stagger. The walking Cryosoplis weak point exposure ends more quickly. The walking Cryosoplis gains a massive attack for the weak point is not destroyed when the exposure ends. Tactical consumers is not, cannot
Ready
be
to
used.
break camp on command.
This one I'm probably 100% guaranteed gonna be like walled off, but because of DPS, and that's possibly probably more than the others. So.
Yvonne of wuling, ready to fight.
Yeah, freeze them.
Someone got hit. You gotta love it. Okay. Oh, forgot. Now you have to press jump. Yeah, yeah. This one's really just a DPS check.
Once known, be dead.
Overall, like, the mechanics themselves aren't an issue. Oh, he's dead. not even get hit by attack. That's just stupid BS damage. I'm not used to that attack.
Shield guards, formation.
Shield up! Fabulous work! Agree with me.
I get hit, even though I feel like that's not really an attack.
Rescue! EMS has arrived. Yeah! Tornado!
Around.
Right? Sorry.
I don't even have stamina. The game's not even giving me stamina return to be able to dodge and do anything. That's the first time I saw that. The game is really punishing stamina usage. Doesn't say anything about stamina, but
AIC area.
that's the first time I actually kind of noticed that from that scenario. I don't think I even have near enough DPS to handle its whole weak exposure mechanic. Not even considering its other mechanics. Mechanics, but phase, I should say. At the end of the day, this is really just stat checks. More so than strategy, which is something that I really harped when I first saw their release live stream. Was it the release live stream? I believe it was the release live stream. I really harped on 4 stars are not gonna be great because they're not really going to offer that many strategies long term. And the game's not really gonna end up being like that. In this scenario, it's I'm not being able to beat it because of strategy. I'm not going to be able to beat it because of stats. It forces me to be close to level 90 as I can, just to be able to handle whatever the mechanics it throws at you. These sets of levels are more stat check, while this, I feel like, is more strategy focused. At least with the Survive the Gas and Unorthodox Tactics. I feel like these two stages fit the bill more of strategy purposes with what the character's skills offer. While Ballista and Axe and everything from this section is just stat checks. Really. At the end of the day, it's just stat checks. More than anything else. So that's what my thought process on the Agony Mode, anyway. Is it necessarily a bad thing that I have to be max level, or close to max level, to be able to efficiently deal with these? No, I don't think it's a bad thing per se. I mean, it's just the launch of the game still. And I'm kind of midway point still in terms of progression, quote unquote. But with how Arknights is, it kind of is different in terms of how you go about stages compared to this game. This game follows way too much similar of the bigger game titles, more so than its predecessor, Arknights. And I think that is still a big disappointment for this game. I think this game could be a lot better if they focus more on the strategic side, but they don't. It's way too similar in terms of how you play with other games, even if there is more characters and how technically there is more strategy with Arknights Endfield to other games, but it's not even remotely compared to Arknights normally. So there's a big difference between its original and this version compared to the bigger gacha game titles. Because in Omar Arknights, I should be able to do that. I kinda do that, actually. I don't even use 6 stars. So, take that as you will. Also, hello, I'm gonna have to click on each of them. Okay, yeah, they don't have to claim all yet. Now, even though I am disappointed that it's not like Arknights in terms of strategy, I don't think it's necessarily a bad game still. And I am not even max level yet, so if that's how they design at least this event to be sort of in-game, kind of like at least be in the story, you should be able to do these 2 sets of stages, then I don't really think that's necessarily a big issue. It's just that if you want to compare it to normal Arknights, it gets destroyed. Personally, in a lot of aspects. Some people try to argue that the gacha is better. Sort of not. There's a lot of things to take into consideration. We're not going to go into that. But, anyway, so far, Umbral Monument, I said it's a good event so far. I am nowhere able to do the Agony modes. They're a thing. I think technically, Inorganic Constructs are going to be way easier than those forsaken by the land so far. Because Inorganic Construct is more of a stat check, while a lot of the stages on the first one, as I already said before, there's a bit more of a strategy you have to go with, or a kind of idea. Like, some of the stages you're going to have to use a healer. Like, you can, in the second stage, you can pretty much just dodge attacks and you should be fine. There's one stage that, with the poison map, you can't just dodge. You're still going to continuously lose HP, so you're going to have to bring someone to heal. So I feel like the first set of stages do a way better job of trying to force you to bring an idea to the table, while the second one does not fill that role at all, and it feels like they just kind of wanted to do, they wanted to do something with the enemies, but they didn't really took a lot of time to do it. And to me, it just feels like you're pretty much hidden back by stat checks. Anyway. How many days for? So hopefully I could get around to doing this. I'll probably end up doing the Etch Space Salvage, because I still haven't finished that. And then, technically, Deliver the Cryptic is actually going to be way easier to do, actually. I have not touched this or did anything with this event yet, obviously. I pretty much went to something else after the change point, but, video. Anyway, that should be it for the video for today, for Agony Monument 2. As well as Headhunting and going over the factory, how my factories look like right now. Granted, I haven't been consistently doing that, so you wouldn't really have known how the past versions looked like, but protocol stashes, actually trying to use them brings a lot to the table, but I feel like a lot of people still haven't really fully used the full potential of the protocol stash. There are people out there making computers in the factory system. There are people out there making systems for energy efficiency of power. I feel like these two things are way overdone and aren't necessary, personally. The making a computer in the factory system is cool, but the other, in maximum efficiency of energy, is just overdone, and is overdone in a gacha game ecosystem. That's the word I wanted to use, because a lot of people are trying to min-max just to not put money in the game, and the only reason why I put money in the game is to get the character more so than anything else. So the need to min-max to begin with is completely and utterly unnecessary. Unless we're talking about trying to clear stages with characters, and that's a totally different scenario. And a lot of the time, that's not really necessary either. It's a lot more complicated. There's a lot more context that is missing. So, yeah. I can go on and on and about my feelings on certain things, but yeah. I'm gonna shut up now, and I'm gonna end the video off here. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to subscribe/follow. Description below is this course to do. Please go check it out. And also, if I remember to, this will be the first time I have also mentioned Fluxer. I will be also having Fluxer down in the description below, as with certain things that is currently going on with Discord. And it's very likely that it will still happen. Fluxer is the other option that if you are not a fan of Discord, you can join that instead. At this point in time, I've made the server, but there's still a lot of things that need to be done on the server. But I technically do have a server that there's going to be a lot that I'm going to have to do. But that's besides the point. I am kind of busy this week, so it's going to be some time before I get really into that. But anyway, as always, good night, Summons. Good night, Sharon Team. Be safe and be healthy. And I will see you in the next video, whatever that may end up being. Until then, peace.